Good evening. My name is Gregory Bowen, and I'm the principal here at Ralph R. McKee Career and Technical High School. I'd like to welcome you to our 2021 virtual open house. A big congratulations to all of the 8th graders on the call. This is an important milestone for you as you graduate middle school and begin to think about the next step in your educational pathway. Choosing the right high school that meets your individual needs and aspirations is the first step in your academic and career success. Our hope is that this orientation will provide you with the most up-to-date, relevant, and important information so that as incoming freshmen, you can make the most informed decision as to where you would like to attend high school. Tonight's session is our last virtual information night. Under normal circumstances and not during a pandemic, you would be able to join us at the building and participate in the orientation in person. Given the unusual times we are in right now, my team of assistant principals, teachers, support staff, and students have put together a virtual walkthrough. Even though it is not in person, you will be able to experience all that McKee has to offer. You will have the opportunity to hear live from key staff in the building, as well as watch a video that was created prior to the pandemic that will walk you through all of our shops and classrooms when we are back in the building. Some of the items you will hear about will include, but not be limited to, our 7 career and technical education programs, commonly referred to as CTE. Our building-wide support system known as AVID, the Advancement via Individual Determination, all extracurricular and after-school activities that are available to students, the PSAL sports that are offered, college and career information, special education services, and our school assessment team, and so much more. On our newly constructed website, scheduled to be ready in January 2021, you will be able to review the many accomplishments of our staff and students so that you too can experience the McKee pride the way we do on a regular basis. McKee High School is a very special place that provides all our students a home in one of our 7 career and technical programs designed to provide students with small learning communities. In addition, we provide our students with a multitude of opportunities to participate in activities, teams, clubs, elective classes, advanced placement courses, and more. We pride ourselves on the family feel of our school and the relationships that are formed between the students, parents, and staff. Just 2 quick housekeeping items. One, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat and we will answer them at the end of the orientation. You will also be receiving a list of all the questions presented by parents tonight. This list will be sent to you via email with the answers to those questions. Prior to the meeting tonight, you received an RSVP Google form. If you were unable to fill out the form prior to tonight's session, please do so that we have your contact information and can send you the answers to any additional questions after tonight. We also would ask that each family type 1 email address into the chat with their child's name. Take a moment to look at the chat right now and you will see an example of what to provide. 2, for your convenience, tonight's session is being recorded and will be posted on the McKee YouTube page. You received a link to our page and can view this session as many times as you would like. Our prior sessions are identical to tonight's presentation and will also be available for you to view once each session was complete. Now, without further ado, I'd like to begin tonight's open house with our introduction video.
Thank you.
As one walks up the 4 blocks from the ferry, a student passes by Borough Hall, up the block by the iconic St. George Theater, past Rispoli's with its mouth-watering Italian cookies, and the famous Enoteca Maria's restaurant, where grandmothers come in and prepare a different cuisine from their native homelands all week. 2 quick turns and one sees the historically landmarked building, McKee. Blending carefully managed class sizes, passionate and committed faculty, spotless, spacious, and secure school grounds, and highly sophisticated classroom technologies, McKee embodies the experience of a private school learning environment. The McKee faculty, experts in industry and education, methodically work with students to equip them with the real-world skills and certifications to intern, apprentice, and eventually start a career in many diverse fields. Let's start automotive program, where students are provided with a rich, rigorous education in automotive technology. The program uses hands-on as well as the latest in computer diagnostic programs. This program prepares students to excel in the many NATEP certification tasks and the ASE exam.
I specifically chose McKee because of the automotive program. I want to learn about cars and furthermore learn about diesel and that heavy machinery so I can get into that field.
I came to automotive because I always had an interest for cars since I was little. My teacher told me that just because I'm a girl, it doesn't mean I can't do the things that boys can do.
We get to see all these different cars, get to learn how they all work differently from each other, and find out how to work on each car.
As we go to the second floor, we hear the sound of saws in the air. The program is carpentry, and those of the Edward J. Malloy Initiative place students in the carpentry program into unionized trades as one of the top apprenticeship programs in New York City.
I chose McKee High School because it offered me a lot of choices. It offered me carpentry, auto, electrical, and I really fell in love with carpentry when I came and looked at it and all the work that they had.
What I'm working on right now is working on a bench, like a model bench that we're making out of pine wood.
Being a girl in a shop class like this is empowering because you're showing other girls that might be too scared to do something like this that it's possible to do stuff that guys do.
Down the hall on the second floor is the software engineering program known as SCP. This program gives students training and experience in coding, learning Python, Scratch, HTML, CSS, processing, and Java. They also learn electronics, robotics skills, and Arduino and Lego robotics. The SCP is a doorway to game design through computer programming and virtual digital reality coding for the 21st century professional workforce.
I recommend this shop to anyone who would ever want to do coding, any kind of coding at all. Just they want to try it, they're very interested in it, try this because it's still a skill you'll have after high school. It's still a skill you'll keep and you'll actually retain, and you'll be able to use that in your future even if you don't like doing it.
I like the way that we approach the subject in general. Mr. Pedersen has us do abstracts where we take the simplest way of analyzing an idea and then we break it down from there.
We started off with HTML in freshman year and a beginner programming software called Snap and Scratch, which is sort of like drag and click easy stuff for middle schoolers to do. And then we moved on to CSS and processing, and we're doing processing now.
On the third floor, one sees the Electrical Engineering and Installation program, which is designed to offer a pathway to a career in the expanding field of electrical engineering technology. Students in the program learn AC, DC, circuit analysis, implementing commercial and residential wiring, and motor controls. In the Electrical Engineering Lab, students are exposed to using, measuring, and understanding how electricity is manipulated in today's technological environment.
I chose McKee High School for the electrical program. They said they can give me an internship straight out of high school or an internship during high school over the summer. Instead of sitting at a desk, I get to, climb up on ladders and work every day. I have a better opportunity for going out after school and getting a job into Local 3 or MTA or whatever it is.
Before we go into working hands-on, we come in this class right here and we do a lot of previews, and he teaches us what we will be doing today. The program, it's taught me a lot. Everything I'm learning is gonna help me, and like my parents taught me, knowledge is power, so I won't regret it.
Right next door is the Architectural Drafting Program, which prepares students for post-secondary opportunities as an architectural designer and civil engineer. Students learn design as well as complete projects on the latest computer-aided drafting software.
There's so many different types of engineering, mechanical, architectural, chemical. Now when I realized this, I got even more interested because I know I'm not stuck going down one road.
By the end of this year, I'll have my certifications in a few different engineering and architecture programs. Because of this, I knew I would get internships in relation to the field I want to go into, which is aeronautical engineering and mechanical engineering. I'm designing a building for Columbia University through the ACE mentorship program, and it's going to be a college of criminal justice. And so far, because of this mentorship program, I've been able to learn structural engineering, HVAC engineering, plumbing and fire protection.
It just opened my eyes to a whole new type of world, a whole new type of experience. I can take apprenticeships, I have a certification in AutoCAD, so it's just amazing.
On the 4th floor is graphic design. This program prepares students in the area of computer graphics, design graphics, desktop publishing, typesetting, digital press work, photography, and video editing. With McKee providing the latest software applications for technical training with certifications in the Adobe suite.
The Ralph R. McKee Career and Technical Education Graphics Program really focuses on teaching students design principles and how to utilize them in the real world.
The graphic design program here it's so great. It teaches you more than just making logos, but it goes into branding and real world, what they're really looking for.
I guess the best part about it is you come every single day. It's like a workplace, not just like a classroom where you sit down, you get distracted, but you're actually into it doing the work. And it's a really competitive scene. That way you get better among your classmates. And last summer I attended a graphics internship, and we did work like we did flyers, we did postcards, business cards. You're leaving with this idea of, I know something that people need. There's a business out there, there's a market out there for people like us. You go anywhere, everything is graphic design. Everything you see is visual. Just like you go into the city, anything you see, like you can recognize anything. You look at the billboards, you look at posters, everything's visible.
From this program, you learn more than just making logos, you learn branding. I want to go into marketing, so having a graphic design background can really help with me helping business.
The academic spine of McKee is advancement via individual determination, or AVID. The AVID system accelerates students' learning. It uses research-based methodologies of effective instruction and provides meaningful and motivational professional development and acts as a catalyst for college and career awareness. AVID provides all students with a system to acquire academic knowledge, study habits, writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading, and participation in enrichment and motivational activities that makes college attainable.
AVID, I look at it as a sense of community. We're just people and peers and friends. And it's great because what we do with our peers is that we educate each other. A part of our success criteria in our contract that we all signed for AVID is that we are going to at least sign up for one internship and be accepted. We are doing right now a collaborative study group, also known as a CSG. We don't give them the answer. You don't want to do that. You want to properly lead them there, either if it's going back in the text or in the notes or whatever you're doing.
We at McKee look ahead. McKee's administration is constantly exploring, evaluating, and implementing learning innovations. We look at best practices and local business partnerships to better position students of nearly all abilities for personal growth, academic, and professional success. A sampling of the business partnerships are Bay Harbor Motors, Blue Label, DCAS, Asset Management, ASI, Stonmart, SDFCC, Dima Auto, two industry partners who were at the forefront and continue to lead the way in establishing a robust partnership with McKee is Miller's Launch and Dana Ford.
The relationship with McKee is unbelievable. The relationship with the kids, they love telling us about what they're learning in school and they want to apply it here. They love the fact that I want to know what they're doing in school because as far as I'm concerned, if you're not doing well in school, you're not going to come for a job. So that actually motivates them to do even better.
They come in, they have to get certification. They get certification through Ford Motor Company. Highly advanced motors, highly advanced vehicles now, so they're not what you would traditionally understand as getting your hands in to pull out a carburetor or any of those things. They're all gone from the vehicle. So everything is sensors and computer programs. And one of the first things a tech will do, we don't even say mechanic, we don't even use the term anymore. One of the things a tech will do is plug a laptop right into the car first thing.
We were looking for interns, and my nephew is a teacher at McKee, so I said, we're looking for interns from college, and he convinced me to try a high school student, and we did, and it worked out spectacularly. You need to have, general business knowledge, of course. Writing skills are always extremely important, but we look for people with passion. Our intern is doing a lot of social media graphics for us and posting, so he's currently managing a guy named Jeff Harrell's music account on Instagram, and he's doing a great job at it. He's building a following and selling some albums and posting, as well as making graphics to use for those posts.
We reach out to our alumni to add their invaluable experience to talk to our underclassmen about their experiences.
What McKee basically gave me was the fundamentals to start my career in architecture. I went to Pratt Institute in Williamsburg. After college, I worked for a small architectural office in Staten Island, probably about a 6 to 8 person firm. I worked there for 3 years and I just felt at a certain point that I was comfortable with the practical end of the profession to go ahead and take the next step and start my own business.
I'm very happy with the turnout, and I absolutely, McKee was I would say the best decision I made in my life.
The North Shore is on the move. There's a crackle of excitement in the many features appearing on the harbor, from the observation wheel, outlet mall, hotel, and new Irby condominium development with the breathtaking views of the city from the harbor. Whether your dream is to someday design the most iconic building on Staten Island, to start your own business, to join the local 20, or to become the very first member of your family to graduate from college, you will learn more here at McKee. And with what you learn, no matter how big and bold your dreams, you can achieve anything. McKee High School, and the true pathway to a multi-optional educational platform preparing students for college, career, and life.
Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed our introduction video. Just a quick reminder, if you haven't done so yet, please go to the chat and type in one email address per family along with your child's name. We will now move into our live presentation, and to get started, I'd like to first introduce my assistant principals. Jesse Lambert, Assistant Principal of Math, Science, and Physical Education. Bridget Howley, Assistant Principal of Humanities and Avid. Joanna Falkenheiner, Assistant Principal of Student Life, and Agron Valia, Assistant Principal of Organization and CTE. I'd like to now turn it over to Mr. Valia.
Good evening, parents, and thank you for joining us tonight. Before I introduce the career and technical education teachers as they go through their programs, I just wanted to mention one thing, that no other high school in Staten Island gives students the frequency with the scope and sequences of CTE the way we do. Every single day, your child from sophomore year to senior year gets 90 minutes of career and technical education in order to prepare them for that post-secondary pathway as the academics prepare them for a college pathway. So for this, I'd like to now move on to our first presenter for our career and tech programs, Mr. Bruce Payne.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mr. Payne. I'm the architectural drafting and pre-engineering teacher at McKee. I've been here for almost 19 years. Let me start by saying, in the real world, nothing gets built without a drawing. Homes, roads, bridges, everything requires a technical drawing. Today, a technical drawing means CAD, computer aided design. The Board of Education, the state of New York, have been very generous to my program and the rest of the programs at McKee by providing us with the best equipment that we can really hope to get. We train our students on the latest software, AutoCAD Architectural, which is considered the industrial standard for drafting. We provide all the computers, software, printers, 3D solid modelers needed to emulate the real world engineering environment. Additionally, we do mechanical drawing, hand board drafting. New York City has provided us with all the equipment for board drafting, to drafting tables, drafting kits. And this creates an environment where the students produce work and they get immediate results for their efforts. 3D solid models, renderings, multi-view drawings, anything that they've drawn, they get immediate satisfaction. Other additional stuff, we do interdisciplinary projects with carpentry, with electrical installation programs. These type of programs all require drawings. So we get to work together with these groups. Also work with the mathematics department to ensure understanding of geometry and geometric construction. We work with the sciences, physics, earth science, the study of strength of materials, types of soils. These types of studies determine the type of construction, the foundation, the roof styles. Our process includes the full 3 years. Students start their sophomore year off mechanical drawing. They learn the terminology of the technical world, using mechanical drafting tools to study, the study of the terms, dimensioning, different views, orthographic projections. In the junior year, they move on to AutoCAD, right? Computer aided design, again, the industrial standard, basic 3D modeling, multi-view drawings, engineering standards for manufacturing. And once they master AutoCAD, they move in their senior year, they move on, all of their focus on architectural drafting, the documentation required for building construction. And other opportunities at McKee include internships, working with McKee business partners, actual architects located on Staten Island, Brooklyn, and New York. They develop a portfolio, which they'll need for a job interview or college applications. And upon graduation, they get certified as an AutoCAD user. You're not going to get any type of employment if you're not certified. All right. So you really grasp a lot of the ideas of the engineering world upon graduation in McKee. Thank you for your time. I'd like to turn it over to Dave Sarno, our auto instructor. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is David Sarno. I've been the automotive instructor at McKee for 13 years and the workplace learning coordinator for 9. The McKee automotive program is New York State certified as well as ASC certified. What this means is that upon graduation, your son or daughter will not only receive their diploma, but a New York State career and technical seal. As an ASC Automotive Service Excellence certified program, all instructors need to be ASC certified and follow a rigorous curriculum based on the ASC standards to guide your child to become certified in light maintenance and repair. This industry-based curriculum will help our students gain entry not only into the automotive field, but the transportation field as well. Staten Island has many waterfront companies like Miller's Tug and Barge, who has been a supporter of McKee for many years, with hosting our students through our paid internship program and upon graduation, hiring them full-time. Also, since the program is double certified, all automotive grads who wish to go on to a post-secondary college will receive a discount in tuition or a waiver of some of their classes from one of the schools that McKee has an articulation with. Some of these schools are Bronx Community College, Alfred State, Lincoln Technical Institute, and Universal Technical Institute. Our curriculum will take your child on a trip through the history of the automotive industry, from Carl Benz's three-wheel vehicle in 1886 right up to modern-day vehicles such as the Tesla. Through this journey, they will discover how the grease monkey became a mechanic, and now we are considered technicians. In the 10th grade, McKee takes our students, no matter their level of understanding in the automotive repair industry, through safety, tools, shop equipment, tires and wheels, and finish with brakes, steering, and suspension. The junior year, which happens to be the most demanding year, students discover automotive electrical, which includes computers, sensors, wiring, and engine performance, which will detail superchargers, turbochargers, and nitrous. Senior year, students learn engine breakdown, not just taking the engine apart, but understanding how each component works and how each component could fail. HVAC, which means heating, ventilation, air conditioning, which covers everything involved with keeping the driver and passengers comfortable while in the vehicle. Finally, students begin running the live shop at McKee. This includes customer service, billing, and properly writing out work orders. Finally, I'd like to talk about McKee's internship program. Starting in late sophomore year, all students have the opportunity to take part in a 60-hour paid internship in one of our school's business partners throughout Staten Island and Brooklyn. Some of these companies are Dana Ford Lincoln, Island Auto Mall, Dema Auto Body, just to name a few. These companies allow our students to shadow their employees and see what it's like to work in the automotive field. Many of our students throughout all our programs are hired full-time upon graduation. In closing, the power of McKee is all about the collaboration of McKee's academic and CTE programs. In automotive, understanding chemistry, physics, and English is vital to our students in helping them gain entry into the automotive field upon graduation. Being a parts changer is a job. Understand why the part went bad and how to repair it makes you a technician. And that leads to a career. McKee produces technicians. Thank you, best of luck, and I'll pass it on now to Mr. Dennis O'Connell, McKee's carpentry instructor.
Good evening, families, and thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Dennis O'Connell. I am the carpentry and building trades instructor here at Ralph R. McKee Career and Technical High School. I've been teaching the building trades at McKee for more than 20 years. I'm also a proud graduate of McKee and this program. We offer a real-life trade experience. The 3-year sequence has been designed around the current trends in today's building industry. As a 10th year student, you're going to cover print reading and design, model house design and build, hand and machine tool operation. Moving on to 11th year, we're going to cover commercial and residential framing, interior and exterior finishes, operations of production power tools and equipment. Rounding out things as a 12th year student, we're going to cover cabinet making and joinery, coloring and finishing techniques, CNC laser, machine up programming and production, the use of Mastercam, Aspire and VCOV software, and finally with an industry-based assessment. During their 3-year experience, we will provide opportunities for students to participate in internships directly related to the building trades. We invite local tradespeople in to present current industry trends and career opportunities. The expectations of the program are high and include critical thinking skills and rigorous math platforms. We are looking for young men and women seriously looking to pursue a career in the building trades. Following graduation, you will have the opportunity to gain direct entry into any New York City labor union, labor apprenticeship program with our partner Construction Skills. Graduates may decide to continue onto a post-secondary college experience. There are many CUNY and SUNY construction management programs that offer postgraduates have from New York City Tech, Alfred State, and SUNY Delhi. This program has been preparing young men and women for a career in the New York City building trades for more than 80 years. McKee has produced thousands of graduates that have or have had a successful career and in place in the working blue-collar world. Many of those graduates are responsible for shaping the New York City skyline as we know it today. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you all in September. I would like to introduce my colleague from the Digital Media and Communications Program, Mr. Serrano.
Hello, parents, and welcome to this open house. Future students as well, welcome. The Digital Media and Communications class provides students with a certification in digital marketing and social media management. And we have an academic focus on financial algebra and English. Our curriculum, it's wrapped around entrepreneurial experiences because we believe that in order to become great marketers, one must understand how to develop solutions through a couple of steps, which we break down as empathy, ideation, prototyping, launching, and marketing. Our students engage in a unique for-profit, listen to this, for-profit entrepreneurial experience during the sophomore year through the Build NYC program. When I say for-profit, I literally mean that students finish the year receiving the profit in the sales of their products by the end of the year. A picture in our slide shows a couple of our students presenting to a panel of judges at a Shark Tank type competition, requesting funding for their product sales. In the junior year, our students will move on and go into a web development process of learning web design through user experience and user interface. It's combined with digital marketing through social media platforms, understanding how to use social media for business, for profit, both paid and organic. Our senior year, we take all of these things that we've learned for the past 2 years, combine them all the prior knowledge and skill sets are gained, and the students begin to run a business through the Virtual Enterprise International Program. At this stage, students take on the roles of executives, finance, operations, design, marketing, all becoming professionals in those fields while interacting with classrooms, doing the exact same thing throughout the entire world. Our school has achieved many awards, and I'm talking about in product design, in branding, marketing, web design, with experience in professional presentations, as you saw before, in front of executives from various business sectors. Students in the DMC program, as we called it, have an internship opportunity during the junior year with local and city-based marketing and advertising agencies that work with us. Also, we're giving them opportunities for college coursework and potential scholarships through LIU Brooklyn. At this point, I would like to introduce our electrical installation instructor, Mr. Cintron.
Thank you, Mr. Serrano. I'd like to welcome all the parents who are here tonight. Thank you for taking some time and finding out about McKee. I can start by telling you that the McKee experience is one like no other that you can get in most traditional high schools. In the electrical program, we are a ongoing changing program that adapts to the industry standard. Our program is twofold. It's made to, yes, produce the future electricians that are going to be filling the numerous number of jobs in this career sector. But not only is it training electricians, it's also training potential future electrical engineers. So our program, while incorporating all the hands-on necessary skills, also incorporates the technical aspect of electricity, including the circuitry, how electricity works, how it's created, so that a student has the option when they leave our program to pursue multiple different venues as far as which way they'd like to go with their career. Students will be introduced to all sectors of electrical, from low voltage systems, fire alarms, intercoms, to residential house wiring, commercial systems, telecommunications. If it's in the electrical industry, your child will learn it at McKee. And your child has the opportunity to leave into McKee and enter the career sector if they choose to go through one of our apprenticeship programs, whether it is Local 3 or the New York City Transit Authority. But in addition, they are prepared if they choose to go the engineering route via a College of Staten Island or a New York City Technical College, if this is the way they choose to go. But not only the technicians, like was previously mentioned, it's also students who know how to read and write and think and apply mathematics and science, which is important because, yes, we don't know where your child is going, but we're trying to give them the best possible preparation for whatever the path they choose. I'd like to close by telling you that as a former career and technical high school graduate myself, it is the best decision I ever made. It gave me so many opportunities, and whatever career and technical area your child chooses, they will get valuable instruction and they will not be shortchanged their academics at McKee. I'd like to pass it over to Mr. DiMartino and the graphic design program.
Thank you, Mr. Cintron. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike DiMartino. Not only am I the graphics teacher at McKee, I am also an alumni of this very program and the MSIT basketball team coached by Charlie Donahue, who you'll meet later on tonight. After graduating Pratt Institute and working in the field, I designed this curriculum to better meet the industry demands of the current workforce. Sophomore year, students learn the principles of graphic design, branding, as well as creating vector artwork with the use of Adobe Illustrator. Junior year, students will utilize Adobe Photoshop to edit images and Adobe InDesign to design multi-page layouts such as magazines and catalogs. Senior year, students will begin collecting their work from the previous 2 years to develop their own portfolio websites. Students will also utilize Adobe Premiere Pro senior year, allowing them to create and edit video. Within the 3 years of the program, students will utilize the knowledge they receive in their geometry and English class to further their ability to become great graphic designers. We also incorporate cross-curricular assignments to make a connection between CTE and core academics. Students will take the Adobe Illustrator certification exam senior year, as that is a predominantly used program in the industry today. Students will have the ability to work paid internships at various companies to further enhance their experience. Being that our classroom is industry standard equipment, this allows us to run a small business out of the school to give students real-world experience from the classroom each day. Lastly, studying graphic design in New York City gives you the ability to stay local for college and attend some of the best design schools in the country. Many of our students have gone on to pursue graphics at FIT, Pratt Institute, SVA, City Tech, and many more. Now I'd like to turn it to my friend, Mr. Canizaro, with software engineering.
Thank you so much, Mr. DiMartino. Good evening, students and parents. My name is Mr. Craig Canizaro, and I've been the software engineering teacher here at McKee for the past 4 years. Students will receive a robust education and understanding in many cutting-edge software and programming languages. But what does software engineering mean? It's just a fancy term for solving the world's problems through coding and critical thinking. We put a priority on learning and building a strong foundation from the ground up using programming languages that develop skills in website development like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We also learn how to program and create applications through JavaScript and Python. Additionally, we learn how to make 2D video games using C# and 3D video games using C++, using both the Unity engine and the Unreal engine. We're lucky here. We have the opportunity to offer industry-relevant internships for our students to be placed in, one of them being a Staten Island local firm called the Vaughn Agency. This is where you're going to get that real-world, hands-on experience with the concepts we get to learn in our class. Now, we look to build our students up from zero programming experience. In your sophomore year, together, we develop a strong understanding of core debugging and computer hardware and software systems. To me, junior year is the most exciting. We delve deeply into one of the most exciting topics, video game design. We begin the year learning the fundamentals of 2D game design, bringing our old favorite games to life, and then in the second half of the year, we get to round it out and explore 3D level and game design. Finally, in the senior year, we go all the way through to our capstone course, which ends in our advanced placement computer science principles. Not gonna lie, this is a rigorous program, but if we work hard together, you're going to get amazing, amazing results. And I really hope to see you all next fall. Now, I'd like to reintroduce our assistant principal extraordinaire. He's the AP of both math and science, Dr. Jesse Lambert.
Good evening, parents and students. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. Before I get going with math and science and talking about that, there were a few questions in the chat about CTE. Before we move on to academics, I believe, Mr. Valia, you wanted to hop in and answer those questions?
Sure. I'm sharing the screen. Would you mind just reading them off to me?
Oh, absolutely. So the first question was, are there CTE classes in freshman year?
No, there are not CTE classes during freshman year as an accredited class, but we do expose the students to all of the CTE programs through visitations, through projects that they do. So this way they get a familiarity with all of the programs before they decide on the program of their choice.
Okay, and the second question had to do with virtual learning and how this is working remotely. I know that is a big question, but if you want to just give a brief overview.
Sure. Virtual learning has its challenges with everything, whether it's academics, and CTE is no different. One of the things we are doing with the CTE programs is we've purchased a few online platforms. Carpentry and electrical are using platforms through Cengage, MindTap Learning. The automotive program is using Electude, and the other programs such as Mr. DiMartino's program in graphics has the Adobe programs that they're using. Mr. Canizaro is using his online programs with the app construction. So instruction is still going on. It's not as hands-on based as it would be, obviously, in the classroom when they're actually building things and designing things in the trade areas. But they are getting a lot of work done on the technical and theoretical aspect of the program itself.
Thank you, Mr. Valea. So as I said, my name is Jesse Lambert, and I'm the assistant principal. I oversee both math and science in addition to phys ed and health. And you have heard a lot about the CTE programs. Ultimately, the high school experience boils down to preparing you for the next step in your life, right? And the best way to be prepared for that, to succeed, is to have options. CTE is a path that offers various options. And on the academic side, there are also plenty of options once you finish your 4 years here at McKee. Our course offerings for math and science consist of 7 different Regents level courses. That is Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Earth Science, Biology, Physics, and Chemistry. And this is in addition to upper level college readiness courses that we offer in both math and science, some in-house and some through partner colleges on Staten Island. The interesting fact of instruction that's unique to McKee is the connections to the CTE program that these courses have infused into both the math and science curriculum. These connections increase student engagement because they really provide real-world meaning and transferable skills to our students. Instead of simply learning the properties of a triangle, students can learn and understand them and how it connects to a topic in their CTE course, whether that's drafting or carpentry or even graphics. So as important as that connection is, the connection to CTE in math and science, we also know it's very important to prepare our students for college as well. And we offer a variety of advanced courses. In-house, we have pre-calc and calc and AP calc, as well as obviously chemistry and physics. And as of last year, our last graduating cohort, we had over 50% of that group of students finish with all of their math regents by the end of their junior year, meaning 50% were either in pre-calc or AP calc by the time they were a senior at McKee. These connections and these opportunities we offer also extend outside of the regular school day. We have connections with St. John's. We have offered a physics, college level physics course with them for our students, as well as a statistics course we're offering this spring through the College Now program in CSI. And I think that's ultimately what really separates McKee from some of the other schools you could choose on Staten Island, because of the multitude of options that students leave here with after 4 years. Thank you for your time again. And now I am going to pass it on to our Assistant Principal of Humanities, Ms. Howley.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am Ms. Howley, the Assistant Principal of Humanities. This department includes English, History, World Language, E&L Services, and our AVID program. AVID stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, as you may have heard already. It is a school-wide system that helps support our students, meaning the supports are built into all of our curriculum. However, in the chat, I saw somebody asking, there is a specific AVID cohort of students that gets the extra class as well. This system does help lead to college and career readiness for all of our students. And rather than give you all the statistics and data, we're going to have a couple of teachers from the humanities department, and then students just speak to what happens in humanities, AVID, and just the experience coming from a McKee student. So next up is Ms. Morganti, our model teacher and an English teacher in the humanities department. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Howley. Hello, parents and 8th graders. I hope you've enjoyed the open house so far. Welcome to the exciting world of English at McKee. As a freshman, a sophomore, and a junior, you will be preparing for the Regents while reading some awesome literature. In January of your junior year, you will take the Regents exam, and as you can see, all that prep will pay off. For in 2020, 90.69% of our students passed, and 47% of them received an 85 or higher, meaning they're college ready. We schedule you to take the exam in January so that if you do not do so well, you can take it again in June and then have the option of January and June of your senior year again. So you kind of get that extra swipe at it. If you need the extra time, yeah. If you receive a 75 or higher on the exam, you'll qualify for college level AP language and composition. For example, 76.96% of last year's juniors were eligible to take AP their senior year. There are currently 58 seniors enrolled in the course. Thank you. A quick glimpse of an ELA class at McKee. If you'll notice, all of our lessons are student-based. Us teachers incorporate student-led discussions, Socratic seminars, and turn-in talks daily. Our lessons are Common Core Standard aligned, and you will climb the ladder of success in our success criteria, sort of like guiding steps to accomplish every single goal or learning target. With the incorporation of technology and strategies to improve argumentative and analytical writing, you will be prepared for the real world. We act more as your coaches in the English and social studies classes. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over to our peer collaborative teacher, Ms. Pizzula, to take you through the wonderful world of social studies in college now. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joanna Pizzula. I've been a social studies teacher at McKee for the last 8 years. I primarily teach freshman and sophomore global history, but we do offer American History Junior Year, as well as AP American History, and U.S. History and Government and Economics Senior Year. So our global history and U.S. history courses in 9th, 10th, and 11th grade prepare the students for the global history regents and the U.S. history regents. We use a variety of strategies, including some that Ms. Morganti mentioned with the when she spoke about the English classes, but we also get to do some more hands-on activities focused on social studies. If you look at the pictures, you'll see students building the Roman Empire out of blue cups, and students engaged in a World Cafe where they are reenacting certain parts of the French Revolution. For Government and Economics Senior Year, we do the basics of the U.S. government, the formation of the Constitution, and then instead of economics like every other high school does, we do financial literacy, which helps prepare our students for the real world. We work on balancing a checkbook, the difference between credit and debit, how to manage your bank account, what taxes are for, so that after high school they can live on their own financially independent. I am also the College Now professor for Introduction to Criminal Justice. We offer Introduction to Criminal Justice, Sociology, and the SD10 internship program. The SD10 internship program provides a paid internship along with college prep courses. And each College Now class, you can earn up to 3 college credits for free. These classes take place before or after the school day with a McKee teacher. Currently, they are virtual, but all of these courses are offered through Kingsborough College and transferred to the majority of colleges throughout the country. I'm going to now pass you on to Mr. Siddiqui to discuss more about our AP courses.
Hey guys, my name is Abdurrahman Siddiqui. I am the AP English teacher, and basically the AP classes at McKee are built on the principle that we allow you to access college level content while you're actually in high school. So whether it's AP English Language and Composition, Computer Science, US History, or Calculus, you are actually studying things that you would be studying in college. And the best part is that if you get a score of 3 or higher on the AP exam out of 5, you can actually get college credit even before you enter college. So last year, we actually had 53 students that received college credit before leaving high school. And this year, we have 92 students who are taking 130 exams, meaning some of them are taking multiple AP classes in an attempt to better their readiness for college. And now let's pass it on to Ms. Custodio, our Spanish teacher.
Thank you so much. Buenas noches a todos y bienvenidos a la clase de español. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Spanish class. I'm Ms. Custodio. I'm the Spanish teacher at McKee High School. In the Spanish class, we apply the communicative language approach and the four modes of communications like listening, speaking, reading, and writing. It's also interdisciplinary learning, so you will make connections with other subjects. You can apply what you learn beyond the classroom. And also, as we learn the language, you explore culture from different Spanish-speaking countries like Colombia, Peru, Mexico, Spain, and many more. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. And now I will pass on to Mr. Sayer.
Thank you. I'm Nasser Zayer. I'm one of the E&L teachers at McKee. So my job is to work with English language learners and make sure that they're all able to complete challenging coursework, regardless of the level of English proficiency. At McKee, we also offer a couple of programs for additional help for those students. So that could be the Title III after school program. And also we have a standalone class. And I'd like to now pass it on to Ms. Miftari.
Good evening, parents and students. I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. We're really excited to have you all here. As you've heard, we have amazing academic programs along with our CTE program, but we also offer AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. Rather than hearing all the data and how amazing this program is, you're going to hear from some of our students tonight. So I'd like to pass it off to one of our amazing seniors named Kaya.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kaya, and I'm a senior, and I have been in AVID for all my 4 years of high school. AVID is a wonderful program for every student, and it provides so much support, and you take your time every day to dedicate to all your classes. So even though it's its own individual class, it helps you with multiple classes. If it wasn't for AVID, I wouldn't be able to have AP English right now. AVID has helped me in writing, math, science, social studies, even in my shop class. AVID also has helped me create a resume so I can apply to jobs, and it has also helped me apply to colleges, and I have got accepted into 5 colleges so far of my choice that I really wanted to go to, so I'm happy about that, and I'm very thankful for all my teachers and how they have helped me along the way with AVID. We also, as peers and students, we work together and collaborate so we can all help each other be successful in classes. And if one student struggles with a certain subject, we help the other student that struggles in a different subject, and we collaborate together to pass all classes, do good on exams. We help each other study, and it's a really good program. I would like to pass it on to my peer, Leslie.
Hi, my name is Leslie. I'm a junior from the AVID program, and I'm also in the architectural program. For the past 3 years, not only has AVID helped me a lot during these wonderful past 3 years, I've also learned a lot of experiences working in groups with all my peers. You know, like AVID it's family, and honestly, if it wasn't for AVID, I wouldn't be who I am right now, because it develops me as a person every single day, and it teaches us to become grown-ups, because you know, and sooner or later we're gonna be in college and we're gonna have to work, and it gets really hard every single day, but you know, thanks to the teachers and everyone and their support, everybody's been it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm for sure that every person that comes to McKee will like the AVID program. But I would like to pass it out to Ms. Ippolito.
Thanks so much, Leslie. So my name is Joyce Ippolito. I've been a guidance counselor for McKee High School for almost 15 years come February. And I'd like to introduce to our guidance team, Jen Pecora, guidance counselor, Brianne Fiorentino, guidance counselor, Angelina Mazer, guidance counselor, and Ernest Page, our school social worker. So the school counselors are here to support your child in every way, academically, socially, and emotionally. In terms of academic supports, our guidance counselors work with all students regarding transcript review, academic advisement, assisting students in making academic progress. In terms of social and emotional supports, we provide individual counseling, group counseling. We also provide various resources to students and referrals as needed. So counselors and supports work with students beginning freshman year throughout the senior year. So we work with students all 4 years in the domain of college, career, and life. So we really prepare students for college, after college, when they pursue their career and life. And the way we do that is we have a program called Naviance, and that directly ties into the college and career piece. Naviance is a post-secondary resource in which assists students throughout all grade levels. Beginning in 9th and 10th grade, students primarily utilize it for exploring careers through various inventories and different tasks that they take. And those inventories and tasks actually match students based on their personality.
Okay, it seems as if Ms. Ippolito is having some technical difficulties.
Recommendation letters. So we also offer, but this is relatively new, something called Monthly Family Night. And this provides the opportunity for families, parents, guardians, as well as staff to build community and family engagement, especially during the virtual learning time. It really gives everyone an opportunity to get to know one another a little bit better and to identify the different resources and supports that we offer. We have, this is relatively new as well, we have support circles for students. We started support circles our last school year during the pandemic, and the goal for the support circles was really to assist students with getting to know one another a little bit better. Considering we're not physically in the building, it really does address the socialization piece that students are at a disadvantage and missing out on due to the fact that we are virtual learning. So students can contact guidance counselors through various sources. We have something called Google Classroom. Google Classroom is a place in which counselors post different resources, social, emotional. We also post information about academic related things, reminders, things of that nature. We all have our email that students can make contact with us and remind. So students can make contact through one of those sources. Grade level counselors and mandated counselors. And which we'll get to a little bit more on the next slide, but grade level counselors means we're working with students throughout each grade, and we're providing not only the social emotional supports, but also addressing the academic needs. And we do that beginning freshman year to senior year with the same students. And we also have mandated counselors, which specifically work with students that have an IEP. And an IEP stands for an individualized educational plan. And that individual educational plan provides supports and resources for students ranging, and they're various, from academic to social and emotional. So this is something I'm excited about. So starting in September 2021, we are shifting our focus to working with students beginning freshman year all the way throughout the end of senior year. Historically, so in the past, we were working with students based on grade level. So I'll give you an example. For me, I have worked with students throughout my whole 15 years with 9th grade all the time, but there have been times I've worked with 10th, 11th, or 12th primarily. Now each council will be working with the same child, so your child, for the entire 4 years, which really gives us an opportunity to get to know your child better, build that relationship, build that rapport, and we do believe students will have a really, really higher success rate getting to know their counselor one-on-one. And so I think we skipped over a few. If we can just go back to the previous slide. Yes. So the goal really is to build that better relationship with your child. And I just want to address on one thing in this slide. Each CT program will have a designated team. So not only are you going to have your child with one counselor, your child's also going to be with one dean and a set of teachers for the entire school year as well. There's no changing and shifting with that. So they'll really get to know deans and teachers as well. And now I would like to introduce you to our terrific mandated counselor. She's a guidance counselor, but she works with students primarily that have mandated counseling, Mrs. Angelina Mazur. And thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. We're excited to have you.
Thank you, Ms. Ippolito. Hello, parents and eighth graders. I'm so excited that you guys are here tonight. I am Ms. Angelina Mazur, and I am a school counselor and mandated service provider. This year, through the initiative of our chancellor, social emotional learning has become a forefront of what we are doing at McKee. Due to the pandemic and all the changes that are happening, we really want to put our students' social emotional health first. So our wonderful English department is providing weekly lessons for our students to help build a safe and supportive environment for them in McKee, inside the building and during remote learning. We are also doing support circles to engage students in meaningful conversations and connect with their peers. I'm going to pass it over to Miss Arlene Daly to talk about our school assessment team and students with disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angelina. We're just going to go through really quickly, just for time. For our students with disabilities, we have our school assessment team. So this is really an amazing team that we use to evaluate and to determine the supports that we need students in academic areas, develop IEPs, and Ms. Ippolito talked a little bit about what IEPs are, to target individualized goals. And it's comprised of our school psychologists, social worker, administration, and teachers. And for some students that may have disabilities, and I know we talked about IEPs, we have some specialized things like grade advisors, mandated counselors, which you just heard from Ms. Mazur, who's one of our counselors, individualized support, such as tutoring, special education teachers, differentiating instruction, our fabulous AVID program, and community partnerships like NICED, which is the New York Center for Interpersonal Development, and UAU, United Activities Unlimited. And with that, I will pass it over to Mr. Lambert.
Good evening again. All right, on to sports. Before I bring on our athletic director, Mr. McCarthy, as well as our coach here at McKee of so many teams, Coach Donahue, I just want to explain one thing, because you guys might have some questions if you're aware that we do not have outdoor facilities at McKee. We are partnered up with Staten Island Tech. We play in the PSAL together on every team. And one of the aspects we offer to our student athletes for phys ed, we arrange their schedule, getting their phys ed class during their last period of instruction on normal years. So we can offer in-season team gym to those students to assist with the travel time between the two schools. That's something offered for sophomores, juniors, and seniors that participate in PSAL activities. That being said, without further ado, our athletic director, Mr. McCarthy, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. How are you, everyone? Welcome to McKee High School. My name is Mr. McCarthy, and we have 36 PSAL boys and girls sports teams. I have to say that we feel that we have something for everyone, that anything you could pretty much think of. Before I forget, I'm going to post our link, which has a list of teams and their coaches and the seasons in the chat box, so you guys can look further into it at your own convenience. So what does it take to be a student athlete? Of course, you need to be a student first, which means you need to meet your academic needs, you need to meet your attendance requirements, and then you have an opportunity to try out for a team. We have 36 teams, I said. They run across 3 seasons, so you're allowed to play on 1 team per season. I think I did cover everything that I wanted to. What I want to do is I want to pass this off to Coach Donahue, who can give you a better idea of the day-to-day operations and what it's like to be a student athlete. So go ahead, Mr. Donahue.
Thank you, Mr. McCarthy. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Mr. Donahue, Charles Donahue. I'm the dean as well as the health teacher over at McKee. But tonight I come to you to talk to you more as a coach, one of the coaches from the Staten Island MSIT sports program. I've been lucky enough to be with the program for over 15 years, and like Mr. McCarthy and Mr. Lambert said, I coach over just about every sport you could possibly imagine, from varsity basketball, varsity softball, varsity JV football, basketball, softball, whatever it may be. I've had my hand in it at some point in time and had the opportunity to meet some amazing people along the way. And I think that's what this whole thing basically is for me. Tonight is normally an opportunity where I get a chance to answer so many questions about so many different things, because parents want to know and they want to get a true picture of what it would be like. And I try my best to try to explain to them the atmosphere that we create as far as a family atmosphere. You know, we do our best to make it so that when it's over, they don't really leave. They always come back. It's something that I'm very proud of, that I was able to be a part of for so long. Like Mr. DiMartino said, you know, he was one of my guys. I don't even know what year that was, but it seems like 100 years ago. But again, he was one of the guys where it's able for me to look back and be proud of the kids that I came across, that look how successful they are as not only adults, but as family men now. And that's, to me, what this is all about. And like Mr. Lambert said, obviously it's tough for our kids. We have to travel back and forth, but we do our best to try to create an atmosphere both at McKee and at Staten Island Tech where it's inviting and it's useful and it's helpful in every manner. We give them Metro cards so they could travel. There's study halls set up, because obviously the grades are as important as anything, because without the grades, there is no athlete, right? The student athlete, the student comes first. And if there is no student, there's no athlete. And that's something that, you know, me being in the building, it's been a pleasure to have so many great conversations and help the kids out by dealing with the teachers, being a liaison between the parents, the teachers, the kids, and trying to just put it all together so help them navigate through this whole experience, especially now with no sports being there. We take things for granted, and it's something that I think we all miss. You know, the atmosphere in the school and the support we get is amazing, and I'm grateful for that. And like tonight is the night I get a chance to hear all the amazing things that this school has to offer. And our sport program is something I'm proud of, but just to hear the opportunities that you could have to come to this school, it's amazing. It's a hidden gem. It's something that you don't see every day, and it's something that I'm very, very proud to be a part of. In the past, a lot of guys have used this basketball, these sports as vehicles to go to college and take this to the next level. Not every kid is that talented where they go and play college ball, but every kid has the experience of becoming a great teammate, which eventually equates to being a great employee in my eyes. And I've seen a lot of kids do a lot of amazing things. And most of my best memories and accomplishments are things that have happened off the court. So again, if your kid ends up being with us and joins the flock, we'll be happy to have you. And at this point in time, I'd just like to pass it on to Mr. Lambert, and I want to say thank you guys for coming tonight, and hopefully one day this all works out and we see you in the hallways. Have a great day.
Okay, one more time in. I'm going to address some of the questions that maybe weren't addressed in the chat. The majority of them were, such as the last one, is there swimming and bowling? And Mr. McCarthy responded that yes, there are both swimming and bowling teams for McKee. One of the questions that I'm going to need a member of the guidance team to answer, specifically it was, what is the criteria to get my child into this high school? Is there a GPA criteria?
So I think I can answer that. In terms of getting accepted into McKee, historically, some of the
We're breaking up a little bit, Ms. Ippolito. Can someone else from the guidance team hop on?
But if you speak to your child's current guidance counselor, they could advise you on how to apply on the application to have a higher chance at getting matched to us, because the process really involves a lot of matching, and it's based on an algorithm, but it's also based on where you fall on the application when you apply, and you'll have up to 12 choices. So if you really want to get into McKee, we've always advised parents to place us at the top of the application to increase your chances of getting matched to us. But that would be something that the guidance counselor can go over when you're filling out that application. But it's advised you place us at the top of the application just to increase your chances of getting matched to us for admission into McKee. So I hope that answers your question.
You actually broke in and out a little bit, so let me summarize what I think I heard. The best chance of getting into McKee is ranking McKee in terms of your preferences as high as possible. That is the #1 way to increase your chances to be accepted. Am I correct?
You're 100% correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. And other than that, all the questions were addressed in the chat with respect to specific criteria. There's nothing listed in terms of a GPA cutoff point or anything like that. The AVID questions have been addressed, and class sizes average roughly mid-25s on a normal year. And yes, there are ICT courses. All of those things could be found in the chat as well if I spoke too quick. And with that, I am going to turn it back to our principal, Mr. Bowen, to close us out for the evening.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Just one thing, I saw in the chat earlier, they were mentioning about, the virtual and how the shops work. And, we were very cognizant as a school over the summertime to make sure that the seat time still was allowable for students with the shop classes. So we had them coming in at least one day a week, almost all day long, to get the hands-on experience, which would equate to almost a full week's worth of instruction. So I just wanted to add that to some of the comments in the chat around, what did we do as far as the virtual when it came to CTE. We really took that seriously. We want our students to make sure they maintain that progression. So as we close out our presentation, I wanted to thank all our students and staff who participated in creating and implementing our first ever virtual orientation. This was our third session, and this was the first time the school has done this virtually. There was a lot of work and time putting this together to make sure during this pandemic and unprecedented times that you get the most information as you make your high school selection. Hopefully, we provided you with all the information you need to make the best decision for your high school career. As you have seen in our presentation, we take pride in preparing your student for college and career readiness. This is our McKee family, and we pride ourselves in creating this environment for our students and families. Our school community is committed to providing the right services to the right child at the right time. Just a reminder, for your convenience, tonight's session has been recorded and will be posted on the McKee YouTube page. You received the link to our page and can view this session as many times as you would like. Thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us for tonight's virtual orientation. Hope you enjoyed this presentation and meeting some of our students and staff. We look forward to welcoming you to McKee and the McKee family in the fall of 2021. And we hope you and your families have a happy and safe new year.